it's Chrissy Graham here, the creator of Eclectic, your independent stamping up demonstrator from Brisbane, Australia. Hope you're having a lovely day. Today I thought I'd join you with a little Tuesday tip. Now, you might have noticed in the new catalogue there isn't a whole heap of different coloured ribbons, right? There are lots of ribbons on the online store, but there's not ribbons in every colour. Now, sometimes the ribbons that we have available aren't the right colour, but they're the right type of ribbon. So I would have thought today's Tuesday tip, I would show you 3 ways, maybe 4, to get some colour onto that ribbon, right? So I'm using, from the online exclusives, the half inch wide basic white woven ribbon. Now, and I know that I want, for my project, I want a piece of mossy meadow ribbon. I also want some Secret Sea coloured ribbon. I'm going to show you a couple of ways to get colour onto those ribbons. So we're going to start with the Secret Sea ribbon that I need for a project later. So I'm just going to bring in a piece of grotty scratch paper. Now you'll need your ink for the first technique. You'll need your ink pad, you'll need your ribbon, and you will need, I keep on hand my what are they called? Stamping chamois. I also have got my silicone craft mat. Okay, so the first thing is I want to approximately measure out how much ribbon I need. So I would just think that I'm going to go around my card 3 times. This is probably way more than what I need, and I'm just going to cut off the length that I need. Okay. So then I'm going to grab my Secret Sea ink pad. Now this is super juicy, and I'm going to, now you might want to use gloves for this. I'm just going to use a post-it note, it'll work. And I'm just going to press my ribbon into my ink pad. Right, now this will take a little bit of time to dry. So I'm just doing the end, and then you can just sort of run it across your ink pad. And depending on how much ink that you want on there, depends on how. So the post-it note is just holding it firmly. Okay. So I've got sort of a speckledy sort of an ink, and I'm okay with that. I'll probably need a little bit in the middle, so I'm going to do the same on the other side. Hold my post-it note down, like you could use gloves and hold it down with your gloves. You're still going to get ink on your fingers, all right? This will not stop you getting ink on your fingers. I'm going to turn that over to the other side. I thought I did, but... And you can press it down harder, so move it around your ink pad though. And so this might take a couple of times to do it, and it is messy, right? So now you're just going to let that dry, and it will be the right colour for your project. Okay. I'm just going to close up that ink pad, get rid of that icky post-it note. And I'm going to just grab my baby wipes and wipe my hands. So you want to get as much of that ink off as you can. All right. So that's our first technique, using an ink pad. I also know that I need a bit of I want a mossy meadow bow for one of my projects. So I'm just going to tie a very rough bow, like this. And work out what the ends are that I want, which should make it a little bit smaller. So we're just doing, to tie this bow, we're just doing 2 loops and they flip through the middle, right? And then to adjust the length of the loops, you just hold on to that knot in the middle and just keep working it till the got the right lengths. Now this technique here that I'm doing is a little bit more messy and it takes a little bit longer to dry. Alright, so that's about, I've got my bow about how I want it. Like you could use a bow maker or whatever. We're just doing this quickly. So I wanted to show you don't need a whole heap of stuff. Now, if you're a good stamper, you would know that when you order your ink pad, you also order your re-inker, okay? If it's available. But if it's not available, well, that's okay. So because you've already ordered your re-inker, you have got your Mossy Meadow re-inker somewhere, and you know that you want this. So what you're going to do is take a little container. I'm just using a little bowl, a ceramic bowl, but ideally use one of those little plastic containers, and you're going to grab your re-inker and you're going to pop some ink in that bowl, right? Then you're going to grab your take your pick tool, whichever one you have, and you're just going to swish it around in that ink. Alright, you don't need a huge amount of ink, but you need enough that it's going to cover that whole bow. Okay, and then you probably need maybe 5 or 6 drops. I probably put way more in there than what you needed. So then you're just going to take that out, and you should take your pick tool, and you're going to set it to dry. So I'm going to put mine on a post-it note. I'm just going to let that dry. So you could use a heat tool on low heat to let it dry, but you don't need to. You can just let it air dry, and then in a couple of hours that'll be completely dry. Alright, so just going to clean this up. So I've got my baby wipe. It's just going to clean that up. And because the Stampin' Up! Colours are water-based, they come off really easily. So just clean that out. Oh, look. It's all clean. Okay, clean any excess ink off your fingers. So we've done the ink pad, we've done the clean the end of your take your pick tool as well. All right, we've done the ink pad, we've done the ink refill. Oops. I'm just cleaning up as I go. Now let's have a look at Stampin' Right marker. Okay, so this is another way. So I just know that I want a bit that's going to wrap around my card, because it's going to go on a diagonal on the card, so it'll probably be about that much. You can do it while the ribbon is still on your reel, but we're not today. We're just going to grab our Stampin' Right marker, the brush end, and I'm using my silicone craft mat, and just start colouring. Okay, you don't need a stamping blend. If you've got a Stampin' Right marker, you can do this. Okay, and you can make it as quick and as dark or as light as you want. You could do stripes. So this is a really easy way to get the colour where you want it. Okay. Now, because this is the marker ink, it will be dry pretty much within a minute of it being done. So we're just going to set it aside for a couple of seconds, wipe off our silicone craft mat, and wipe any ink off your fingers. So we go like this now. It's only a little, there's not much residue left. So in 10 minutes that'll be dry, okay, and it won't come off. The only problem with that is if your card gets wet at some point, the ink might run out of your project. Okay, so now we've got another piece of ribbon, and I'm just going to grab my light mossy meadow blend, stamping blend, and I just need a little bit. I just want to have it, I'm going to tie it so it's just a little knot. So I probably only need about that bit much. Alright, put my ribbon out the way and just get my blend and start colouring. Now this is the light blend, you could use the dark blend. The ribbon really soaks up the alcohol. Okay, because it soaks it up and because it is alcohol based, it's going to be dry in pretty much no time. So let's go, so we've got it nicely coloured. Wipe off that silicone craft mat. Wipe any ink off your fingers. Put your lid back on your blend. So if you have stamping blends where the nibs are really frayed, use them for colouring your ribbons. Okay. Alright. So we've got, this one was coloured with the stamping blend. As we rub it on our paper, there's nothing coming off. Okay. This one is coloured with our Stampin' Right marker. A little bit of it's still coming off, but it's only been a couple of minutes. And as it dries, not much will come off. This is the one coloured with our ink pad that we did first. yeah, it's losing a little bit of colour. It's still not completely dry. I can feel that it's a bit wet. Okay, and this is the one done with our re-inker. You can see that it's still super wet. And I'm just going to probably let it dry for air dry for another hour or so, and then it'll be right to use. By that time I will have worked out how I'm going to use it on that card. So let's just talk about the ways we coloured. We coloured with an ink pad, we coloured with a re-inker, we coloured with a Stampin' Right marker, and we coloured with a Stampin' Blend. Right, some really easy, quick ways for you to colour. Just with the re-inker, what you can do is you can put just a drop or two in your container and then top it up with the rubbing alcohol, and that will help it dry quicker, and you'll also, it'll be lighter though, it won't be that really deep colour. Right, so that are our 1, 2, 3, 4 ways to colour your white ribbon. And look, they're completely different. That's the white ribbon, and this is it now. Hope you really enjoyed this Tuesday tip, and until next time, happy creating and bye for now.